Hello guys, I wanted to make a quick video and I wanted to share a quick testimony. I'm over here editing in my editing station, but I just wanted to share something really quick regarding your testimony. One thing I realize is, honestly speaking, a lot of people will not be excited about the testimony that you plan to share. Um, I remember I'm a be as careful with my words as possible. But I remember I was talking to somebody, and you know, um, we were just having a random conversation in text. That's why I don't like to text people. I'm one of the people, I'm old school. I like to talk on the phone, but this new generation, most people are working, so it's kind of hard to get people on the phone and people actually wanting to talk. But I remember I was, I don't know how I got this text sent back to me. Um, but basically, in the response, the person made a response about not looking in the past. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not staying in the past, with, which I agree, or not looking back, or to turn into a pillar of salt. I know you guys, I don't know if a lot of people have heard that story in the Bible. There was a woman in the Bible. Uh, she was told not to look back or she would turn into a pillar of salt. What did she choose to do? She chose to look back, turned into a pillar of salt. And I know from experience that when I personally look back, it wasn't a good thing either. So I can totally agree with the whole don't look back, um, you know, in life in general. Like, if God removed you from a toxic situation, like, and you prayed for God to remove you from that toxic situation, why would you run back to your situation? And that's kind of like what happened to me. I prayed for the toxic situation that I was in to end because I knew I didn't have the courage to leave. I knew that I was too much in love, too invested. So I had to talk to God and I had to get to that point where it was like, okay, I got to really be intentional with what I say because I know once I say this, that there's no going back. Like, certain requests we make to God, like once we say certain things, there's no going back from that request that we made from God. You know, like if we really really want something and we're it in lines with the faith. So I know that looking back is not something that is a good thing. Um, However, somehow the conversation turns into something else, and the person was like, made a comment to me like, you're constantly talking about your past. I'm like, oh, I'm just sharing my testimony because I've had some people in my life, we went a while without talking. So when I was going through specific things in my relationship, like, I wasn't calling everybody and being like, oh, look at what this person is doing to me. I kept a lot of that stuff in. So a lot of people don't know why my last relationship ended because I kind of kept that part of the testimony between me and God. I didn't tell a lot of people I prayed for God to break the soul tie. So if somebody is talking to me and they're bringing up a situation and it's relatable to my past, I may interject and be like, oh, okay, I remember when I was going through this. This is how I handled the situation. It's not necessarily because I want to go back. It's just I'm relating that situation to whatever that person told me. So I realized that there's just people, I had to kind of let the person know that, look, I'm sharing my testimony. Hope you don't think, because in the past 3 years since I've been single, I've made no mention of wanting to go back. I'm like, I hope you don't have that idea of me, because I'm completely happy in my singleness. I'm completely content in my singleness. I'm completely happy because I know that God has something better for me. So I can't pray for God to remove me out of a situation and be utterly upset that God is going to bring me somewhere new. So, um, and talking and further getting to conversation, basically I was like, there's parts of my testimony that I'm going to have to share openly, that I'm ready to share openly with the public, but I don't have to name them names. I don't have to, you know, publicly get online and tell every single person the details of how my last relationship ended or the relationship before that ended. I don't have to tell everybody every single detail, but I can tell people parts of red flags to look out for, because you should be able to warn people, um, you know, remove the plank out of your eyes. And I find it's more relatable if you are willing, sometimes just by sharing your testimony, you can actually bring people closer to God. Like, look, I was in a toxic relationship and I was stubborn. I refused to listen. And I went through all this in my relationship, you know. So sometimes the stuff that you went through, somebody, just by you sharing your testimony, people are going to be like, you know what, thank you for what you revealed, because now you gave me inspiration to get out of this situation, where I'm involved with somebody who's an idol in my life. I'm not no relationship expert. I'm not no relationship guru. Um, you know, but I've been in a toxic relationship. So I'm not going to encourage people to stay in toxic situations. I'm going to encourage you to pull out your Bible and get closer to the Lord, which is what I had to do. Learn how to keep God first, you know. But it goes to show you, when you share your testimony, everybody's not going to be happy that you're sharing your testimony. Everybody's not going to be like, wow, look at what you've overcome. Like, if you're looking to share your testimony and you're hoping that everybody's going to give you a round of applause, I'm here to tell you everybody's not going to be happy that you're sharing your testimony, because sometimes they may have been part of the toxicness. You know, they may have been the one that gave you the bad advice, or they could have been the one that personally did something to you, um, at one point in time, and caused some friction between you guys. So when you're sharing your testimony, everybody's not going to be happy that you're sharing your testimony, especially, um, when they're involved, indirectly involved, or, you know, in the process of hurting you, or they were one of the people that hurt you or did something that really broke the trust that you had for them. So just be mindful when you share your testimony. Everybody's not going to be happy for you.